Welcome back to Sales Remastered. My name is Daniel, and I want to share one thing that I've learned in my experience in actually evolving and those that I've seen around me become as great as they have been, or at least the legacy that they're building. And it has to do a lot with their daily practices, their daily habits. And so why this dawned on me is because I actually have a video up on the YouTube channel at SalesRemastered.com, and also uploaded it to the Facebook page, but it covered the concept of a business running, at least a successful business, when you compare a profitable and a successful business. And I'm sure you're familiar with a few, and you compare it to, let's say, a business that's on its way out the door to be closed down, and maybe we worked with these type of companies before in the past, or we've experienced it, and you can kind of sense why they're going to fail. And I think the main reason is structure. If there's a helpful video that you found on Sales Remastered, this is going to be the most important one. And you have to approach it with an open mind and really understand the word structure. It goes beyond, structuring your day-to-day tasks. It goes beyond structuring, let's say, a package or the sequence of your sales prospect. Structure is actually what enables a business to scale, to grow. And structure, when you peel back the layers of the word, within structure, it actually has to do with organization. It has to do with a set discipline to allow certain sequences in a process happen, but in order. And there's a respect to that order. This is where the discipline comes into play. And if you compare that to, let's say, a business, again, that's on its way out or just not being as successful with different times in the market, it has to do with the lack of respect for that engine, for that process. And so therefore there's no structure. And it can be in different departments, different places. It's not narrowing down. That's not the meaning of this video. The meaning of this video is to introduce structure to your daily habit. And I think that is the key ingredient from a lot of top producers, not just in sales industry, but just in life in general, is how they actually structure their day. And let me give you a point why this is effective, is because where I think the lower end of producing agents are typically those who arrive to work literally within an hour of waking up, or arrive to work in a rush, whether at or past their normal time, without giving them an opportunity to adjust and adapt to that day. And so if you're in a high frequency moving environment where you're dealing with a lot of prospects, a lot of different clientele, and let's say you're dealing nationwide, you have to be always accessible. If you're not accessible to your prospect, you're losing. And I know some of you watching this video might be like, oh, well, I don't want to be chained to my job. I don't want to be, I don't want to have them have my direct cell phone number. And that's fine. You can think that, but there's going to be players in the game like me that's more than happy to give them my cell phone number. Because what happens is I create a bond. And if I can create a bond with a prospect and get, let's say, associated with them on Facebook, now I have access to them through Messenger. Now I have access to them in a direct way that's beyond an email or beyond a text, and the likelihood of getting in front of that prospect at times where you need it most is I think helpful. So you're thinking 2 or 3 steps ahead. Don't look at it as, oh, then they have my number, they can call me during dinner time. That's up to you. This is your business, and how important sales is to you is going to depend on how you answer that question. But going back to the point of this video, why structure is important is because if you're arriving into work and you're, like you start the day in 10 minutes and it's already, it's the middle of the day essentially. So you're getting lots of calls, lots of emails, but yet you just rolled in. And so now you have to consider, you're going to take about a half an hour, 45 minutes going over anything that you missed the day before. And so if you don't plan for that, then what happens is you just add more onto your plate, because everyone around you moves in different times. And so if you're not aware that you have operations in your office at 6 a.m., more than likely they're going to deliver tasks that you may need to help with during the day. And you have to leave at least 25-30% of your calendar open. And this is open for, you know, emergencies like calling and saving deals or originating deals. But I think that structure is important because that has to do a lot with time management. And so what I've noticed from colleagues that are very successful within my range is that they're always number one is they're always working, they're always busy. And the most effective agents that excel, I've noticed that they come in early to actually handle the day before. And so they're allowing themselves about 30 to 45 minutes to get everything caught up. And so when the day actually starts, which is 8 a.m., 8:30 a.m., and again, this depends on where a majority of your business is at, but you have to recognize that. And if you're not available to that client, that's open game for that client. You know, some competitor is gonna catch your client on a bad day, and you know what I mean. They're gonna be ready, and that agent or that sales representative that works for your competitor is gonna be ready to give them their full attention. And we're in a market right now where I think that your attention needs to be wherever it is, and those that are giving you the attention, you need to show gratitude by letting them know that they're always there. So if you look at my reviews personally, a lot of the reviews is that everything was clearly addressed and the process was very smooth. And the fun fact is that I actually only speak with my client maybe once, and usually everything is done through email or it's done through the assistance operations. And I'll have some more videos going after this. This is actually one of 5. And this one, more importantly, is just about structure. So you can learn on this channel everything from the type of mindset you should have to how to originate a sale, right? From a cold call to an internet lead to a rewrite or retread, whatever you want to call it. And then also what happens when it comes down to negotiations. But one thing I haven't put on here, and now I am, is how important structure is for you. And so my recommendation is that if you're not arriving into work or handling at least emails or messages from the day before, an hour before you actually officially start, you may already be left behind. And if you consider what you're doing in exchange to sleep in that extra couple hours, that's a sacrifice you need to decide to make. And I hope that you know what decision you need to make, because you're on this channel learning about your craft, learning about your industry. And there will be a time where you'll be able to control your calendar, your schedule. You'll have an open communication with your clients, so they know your availability, but it's about communicating this information. When it comes through origination though, I think structure is very important, because at least 50% of your day should be dedicated on getting new business. And you're going to fall off if you notice that less than half of your day is dedicated towards generating new business. You have to keep feeding your engine, have trust in the operations role. Of course, that's politics, so the more bees with honey, right? You want to understand that all these parts, like a business, needs to run in unison. And in order for a business to run, you have to have all these departments and sequences in structured order. And if you minimize that to an individual level, if you have these departments, whatever you decide as departments, it's every operations role that is required to help you complete your sale. And so depending on the life cycle that you have, I think it's important to understand your image with them. You definitely want to be the person that all operations work for, because you'll need it most when you need it most. And with respect to this video, the next one is really going to be about not only the mindset that you should have moving forward, but more importantly, what happens, on an individual level, like what goals to ask for. So I hope you check that one out too. Thank you so much for your time, and I hope this video finds you well. Bye.